Me to add to all the things that have been said by those who, at one time or the other, interacted or were impacted upon positively by the actions of our departed departed elder statesman. Professor, I am from Edo State, which is part of, was part of Bende State, and General Oseni was our military governor. In those days when some soldiers, if you write a bad story on their bad day, they can get your head shaved. General Oseni, though a military governor, was so sociable and approachable that young and old in Benin referred to him as Jerry Boy. Even those who are much, much younger than him. That is how humble and humane he was. I'm sure I speak the mind of people from Bende State that General Oseni did his best to strengthen the foundation of the development of the then Bende State. But since Mr. President reminds me that I'm a union leader, how many strikes are organized against him? My recollection, sir, is that General Oseni was a friend of our movement when I was deputy president of Nigeria Labour Congress. He was known by everyone who was close to the military government then that he was one of the close confidants of late General Abacha, Sani Abacha. And when General Abacha decided to dissolve, to proscribe the Nigeria Labour Congress, we were informed by General Oseni, confidentially. He called my president and he said only one person should accompany him. And my then president, Pascal Bafia, also now of blessed memory, asked me to join him. And he told us we are in trouble. Whoever we can talk to, and he suggested a few names to us, we should go and do whatever we can to reach out to the then head of state, General Abacha, not to proscribe the Nigeria Labour Congress. But there were forces pressing that NLC be proscribed. We didn't seem to believe it, but we tried to make contact here and there. But within the next 24 hours, the Nigeria Labour Congress was proscribed, and all of us were demobilized. Now, what I think is important here is that General Oseni felt that it would be wrong to dissolve all the most potent civil society organization in Nigeria, even other military role. And he took the risk of sharing a privileged information with us, hoping that that will help us to run around and cause General Abacha to change his mind. Even though in the end, NSC was proscribed, but Oseni will be on record as one of the senior generals who were opposed to that move. And therefore, seeing the family here, we are all reminded that he or she who was born will die. What will never die is what we did while on earth. For those who do good, they will be remembered for their goodness, and those who thrive in wickedness will be recorded in their favor. General Oseni was sociable. He didn't rule with iron feet. I had the privilege of visiting FCT ministry, not to ask for land. He never gave me one. I never applied for one. But each time we wanted to talk to the president, the head of state, and we don't have access. Once we approach him, he will tell us he will do his best. And I think the most important one he did for us was when we tried to seek audience with General Abacha to pressurize him to release the late MKO Abiola, who was under detention. And we could not get that access. General Oseni helped to facilitate that access. And we met with the late General Abacha. Although he didn't solve the problem, what is important, that he cared. He believed that the more voices that are there to pressurize General Abacha, perhaps Abacha might just change his mind. He never changed his mind, but Hussaini did his best. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace.
I think I don't need to speak much because I think all the children of Jeremiah Hussaini knows that I was very close to their father from when he was Quartermaster General of Nigerian Army. And General Abacha, Jumai, Asabe, they are dead. General Abacha introduced me to General Hussaini, and we became family. When, in the early, mid-80s, when I am here in Abuja, from Lagos, he came to Abuja. I go to their house. They give me a car at the airport. They send food to me. The late wife was like my mother. I was almost a member of this family. This man is so kind in his person. Anything that happens in my village, he will come there. And when they told me he died, I didn't even believe it. I went to see Jumai and Asabe and the husband, our colleague, Senator Bale, because Jumai is now Mrs. Bale. So a man like Hussaini, when they did a military coup, this man refused to be a head of state and succeeded to another person. This is the kind of man you are talking about. It happened in the military. Ask the military people. He said, no, I will not succeed my friend Abacha. Let them choose another person. He was senior to General Absalam, and he appointed General Absalam to be head of state. And this is the kind of man. I don't want to talk about Jeremiah Hussaini because he was an easygoing man. He was a man that loves Nigeria. He was a man that loved people, the people's person. So, talking about him is not just the right thing to do. It's just for me to say, may his soul rest in peace. He was a good, jolly good fellow. He was committed to humanity. He was committed to friendship. He was committed to anything you can do. Some of us, it was the general that put us in business. That is the truth. When he was Quartermaster General. So I cannot write my history. There are few Nigerians I can't write my history with it, without. General Hussaini, General Abacha, General Babangida, General Absalam, and a few of them, and Professor Jibril Aminu. It cannot be completed without putting this. This is a man that when he was Minister of Federal Capital Territory, he gave out land freely. All the properties I owned here, allocation were done when he was Minister of Federal Capital Territory. So I want to say it's as many as possible. His family should bear the loss, and yes, I declare my assets. I'm a good Nigerian. So I said, may his soul rest in peace. And God will guide him wherever he is, because he's a good man. And God will be with all of us until we meet again with him. Thank you, Mr. President, for this honor.
Colleagues, I remain Senator Ahmed Wadada Aliyu, Sarkin Yakin Kefi, the famous horse rider. Talking about Senator Lieutenant General Jeremiah Hussaini is talking about my father. What's going on here now has evoked two memories to me. The memory of the relationship between my late father and Jeremiah Hussaini. That relationship led to my first financial breakthrough in life was courtesy of the land Jeremiah Hussaini allocated to my father here in FCT. Yes. May the Lord reward him abundantly for that. Whatever I did to it was mine. Now, talking talking about let Jeremiah Husseini as a leader, listen to me on this. Because I was bred on the plateau, we never knew, and all my contemporaries do not still know boundaries on religion or ethnicity. We had no boundaries. So when the period of, crisis was on the plateau, I felt, because I knew as a growing up child in Jos, polo was one of the vehicles that united Nigerians, because everybody from across the country used to go for Jos polo. It was called Umuran polo, that is lesser Hajj polo, because everybody, Nigerians living abroad, will come to Jos Christmas Day. Jos tournament usually commences from Boxing Day and ends on the 2nd of January. So I felt I should leverage on that to create peace or to restore peace on the plateau. So I went to my father, late Jeremiah Husseini. I said, sir, I will want you to take the position of first vice president of Jos Polo Club. He said, for what? I said, so that we leverage on your goodwill to bring people back together. He said, that is a fantastic idea, but I have not been a lover of polo, and I don't think I have the time. But I'm going to call my brother. He called the late Shagaya, and late Shagaya accepted to be the first vice president of Jos Polo Club, and I was the second vice president of the Jos Polo Club. We organized the first polo peace tournament on the plateau under the stewardship. Then Governor Jang was the governor, and he was deputized by my sister, Pauline Tallinn. We had that tournament, and it gave out the results that we needed and required. That is on polo, leveraging on sports, to unite the people. And he was very much available. He supported it financially with some good amount. Now on politics, and that was the last time I spoke with him. When I won my election under the Social Democratic Party, he called me and said, my son, you know what informed your victory? I said, sir, I am not clueless as to what informed my victory, but hearing from you will add so much to me. He said, it's because you kept your relationship with the people. Otherwise, SDP isn't a party to talk about within your senatorial district. But for you to have kept your relationship with the people, which informed your victory, make sure no matter what happens, you remain with the people. I said, thank you very much, sir, and this is so highly appreciated. I will come home. I never got to go home. During the last polo tournament in Jos, I visited our mother, Hajia Ladi Nimlang, and we discussed the politics on the plateau. I said, I haven't been able to see my father, but since I have seen you, let's do whatever we can to bring these parties or these groups, two groups together for the good of the plateau. Because whatever is good for plateau is good for Nasarawa, is good for Benue, is good by extension for Kogi, Kwara, Niger, and the rest of the country. I wouldn't have much more to say. I will end it with prayers that for the Lord. But before I go to the prayers, we've had all the good things people have said about late Jeremiah Husseini. And the Bible says, when the righteous lead, the people rejoice. We are all leaders by our own right. We must try to be righteous so that the people we lead will rejoice. I pray the Lord rewards the late Senator, Lieutenant General Jeremiah Husseini for the life he lived. Thank you.